Hello and welcome. I've read Chris Anderson's The Long Tail, Why the Future of Business is Selling Less of More, pages 110 to 130, and we'll be discussing the key points and critically examining them and debating them surrounding social media. In the first section, it explains what the long tail is, using Rhapsody, now called Napster, a music streaming site, as an example. It also explains how the use of categories are a form of a multi-level taxonomy. Top 10 lists are not for niche markets unless the top 10 list is specific to a certain genre or subgenre. An example of this is top 10 country and western songs. As you read down the curve, more recommendations are needed to keep your niche. However, this is flawed, as after time, if you do not change what you listen to, the same suggestions will appear. This shows an error in the algorithm's attempt to automate the flow of the long tail curve. The long tail is filled with noise. However, high quality content can be found anywhere on the curve. We need filters to eliminate any irrelevant content, such as how Google search engines work. He uses Sturgeon's law: 90% of everything is crud. Applying this to the real world, brick and mortar stores that can only store 10% due to their limited space, they can only store the high top. He says long tail have a wide dynamic range of quality. In relation to stores, relatively narrow dynamic. However, high and low quality are subjective, just like niche. The alternative is creating content that appeals to everyone. However, this is inherently will not perfectly appeal to anyone. This is called the lowest common denominator. Most content is in the long tail. Applying this to social media, there are billions of accounts across Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and etc. However, an extremely limited number of accounts have massive followings and therefore monetizable. This is called the black swan problem, created by David Hume, who critiques the deriving of general rules from observed facts, giving the example of how many white swans do you need to observe before stating all swans are white. Anderson divides filters into two categories: pre-filters, the predictors, and post-filters, the amplifiers. Post-filters are critical to the survival of the long tail, giving the example of Netflix. Users like and dislike content to create tailored recommendations. The critique of post-filters is that they come after the publication. If the pre-filtered predictors are wrong, and the post-filter can have an ultimately detrimental effect to the content. An extreme example is Logan Paul and his suicide virus vlog.